Welcome back to Digital Devil Saga, and I'm really glad that I'm starting a part back at the Embryon base, because I've really missed this song. It's a great song overall. The soundtrack by Shoji Meguro is absolutely excellent in every way. But last time we defeated Beelzebub and unlocked his mantra, and now our only remaining opponent before New Game Plus is Huang or Koryu in the Karma Temple. But before that, I did go ahead and sell all of my cells, and guess how much money I have now? I have over 2 million. So I thought I might actually want to... Okay, so before this next fight, I want salvation on somebody. I think Gale has access to it. Cielo does too. Also probably Surf. I think I will take it on Cielo though. So that's 1 million down. And that gives me almost exactly enough to get Beelzebub's mantra on someone else. The problem is, Repel Element's not going to be great against the next boss, but, yeah, let's just go with this on Surf. And Filler on everyone else. So, in order to actually go for some of these mantras before Koryu, I thought that I would, actually do some of that Titania hallway grinding in the waterways. Oh yeah, he'd also got Devour Mana earlier, 50% of MP restored after successful hunts. It's very late into the physical track though. And anybody who's going that far into the physical track probably doesn't care about MP that much. And well, that happened because Gale's just got to fill a mantra, but more importantly, Cielo's level 60. So this seems to be the closest Titania hallway to, like, easy access. It's close to the first save point in here. In this hallway, really, Titania's and that one Pixie should be the only thing that shows up. So yeah, here's some Titanias that are doing Debilitate. Probably should set First Strike on, I forget if it has to be the first person in your party, or if it can be anyone in your party, but okay. Wow, that was unlucky. The idea is we get most of them asleep, and we have Heat use last meal. Okay, Gale got stomach kick, unfortunately. And Heat has AP Divide and, yeah, has AP Divide and all of the AP bonus skills. So that's how much you get if you individually devour all of them. Still not a lot, but this is Vicious Gold we're talking about. Also, Heat leveled up. Also, Magic Reeds. You want some of these. I probably should have got these before going in. And Gale levels up. Finally, you're at level 60. Okay, another level up on Cielo, and I've also got some other people working on Demon Gods, so they get AoE hunt skills. Meanwhile, this is the first time I've had this thing show up in a while. It actually does have different stats to the Pixies in the other waterways, but it's extremely likely that it's going to run before you even get the chance to kill it. And this one does have enough MP to cast Megadolon. Okay, I actually killed it that time. It's not worth much, though. And that should... There we go. Vanity, Salvation, and Mana Surge. That only took, I think, about 1 full solar cycle's worth of encounters. And I've been only going for only 46 minutes, but a lot of that includes the preamble, walking back and forth, and the like. Oh, Surf has unlocked the Godly Spirit mantra now. Auto Soma and Null Ailment. Oh, okay, so this one unlocks when you have mastered Destroyer, Dark Lord, and Vicious God, and they can be on different party members. They don't have to be on the same one. You just have to have mastered each of those 3 mantras with at least 1 character. So Godly Spirit gets you Null Ailment is exactly what it says. Many people consider Cielo to still be bad because you kind of need this for his fullest potential, but I think I hopefully have showed through this playthrough that you don't need to null all ailments on Cielo. Just nulling 3 of them or 2 of them even is usually fine for most areas. Autosoma is the main reason why you want this though. You might know this skill as Victory Cry in other SMT and Persona games. This fully restores the user's HP and MP at the end of every battle. It takes a while before you get access to it, but many would say that it's worth it. While we're here, I believe that means the one mantra that I probably won't show unlocking is Monotheist. In order to get that, you actually have to master every single element track. So Fire God, Ice God, Bolt God, whatever Force God was, and Mother Earth. Once you've done that, you then have access to Monotheist, which only gives you one skill, Null Attack. This nulls everything except Almighty. By the time you have this, all difficulty in the game is pretty much gone, but there's also probably not much left to do in the game, and it doesn't work on the super boss. Or rather, using it on the super boss will result in them instantly murdering you. And level 61 on Heed. Now, Argilla's mastered Mother Earth, and there is a very specific reason I wanted to do this. And Gale gets Summer of Calm. And Cielo levels up again. Just a consequence of him being my main Dormina user here. Oh, if you get them frightened from, like, immunities, even better, because that's guaranteed. I'm so glad that wasn't a stomach ache, but hey, halfway through High Priest, Surf now has 2 cap stats! I guess that's telling me to start on Strength next. And that was the first vital noise I got out of Arahabaki's, wow. And level 62 Heat. And there we go, High Priest is now mastered. So this is going to be fun. Well, firstly, let me just put this on. Make sure you always have your Deathfly's character going first. Yeah, they all just die. Let's go again! There we go. Boing! And I don't even care that you're frightened. Resist death, and I will give you the greatest almighty damage in the junkyard, or else you will die. That's my best CDI Ganon impression. But, yeah, that was, let's just get out of here before I get any more drunk with power. Hello, do you resist death? Evidently not. Goodbye. It's one of those dumb, broken things that I really don't mind because it's very late into the game that you actually have this, and it requires beating a very strong optional boss. And there are some ways enemies can nullify it. Actually, let me just check. I made my first save before the grind. Okay, so that took me about 50 minutes to get several pretty high-end mantras mastered. And if I check... I want to test a theory by checking Get Mantra. Okay, it doesn't look like I've unlocked it. Which would mean that, yes, in order to get Monotheist, you have to master all of these on the one character. So, good luck doing that. You'll probably have to eat a lot more Titanias. Now, do you guys null death or do you resist it? Well, I mean, either that or the almighty damage just killed them. Because, yeah, remember that even if they're immune to the death part, they still take severe almighty damage. I'll show you, yeah. That's what I thought. Also, I got 21 theory cells out of that. So yeah, that's already enough to, like, buy another one of the very high-end million mantras. I feel like Argilla's had it bad lately, so let's actually go for Fire of Sinai on her. Everyone's going all over the place with mantras, but you know what this feels like to me? This feels like the end of Final Fantasy X, when you've maxed out everyone's starting track of the sphere grid, and now they've all entered other people's sphere grids. It always felt weird to me when that happened. Then again, I've never played FF10 on international sphere grid mode, where everyone starts in the middle. Anyone who's actually tried that in the comments, could you tell me what it's like? Because, like, it kind of feels like that game would be not good that way, because that'd make everyone Kimahri, and Kimahri kind of sucked. Anyway, we're gonna head to Sahasrara to make our way towards Huang Long, but also, Samruki was looking for you, sir. I didn't talk, but this is what he did to me. He went into the temple. I shouldn't be making fun of this, but wow, that dialogue scrolled slowly. I just realized that, to my horror, there is one more field hunt in here that I haven't done yet, and I should probably have done enough cycles to have the field hunt respawn. Hi. Clearly, you have not heard the major screams of your brethren from the waterways and thought to try your luck against us. Okay, I'm pretty sure Gira Makala nulls death. They must both null death. Interesting. Step 1, transform surf. Step 2, pass with everyone else. Step 3, this. Step 4, this again. Yeah, I had a feeling that you nulled death. However, you are weak to fire. Okay, Gale's getting caught up with the others. I hope this is respawned. Yes, it's respawned. But this is another one of these ultra difficult field hunts. The key should be to stay in the room every time you destroy all of the weak demons and just make absolutely sure that none have respawned. There we go. I think these guys are Zio? They are, okay, good. Really? None of them got frightened. Okay, 2 of them. Oh, damn it. Always sucks when that happens. Okay, that was enough for Fire of Sinai, though. Heavy damage, almighty random. Okay, Mind Charge. And let's show this off. Yeah, that was only one hit, which didn't look that impressive, considering that, like, non-mind charge from Surf Deathflies did about the same amount. Then again, Surf has, like, 30 more magic than she does. Remember when I said that death works on Lakshmi, technically? Yep, no immunity, which means they instantly die to Deathflies. Perfect revenge! Also, Surf is, like, way ahead of everybody because, reasons. And those reasons being Deathflies. I guess agility, maybe. Well, you're actually weak to death, but the main portion of this attack is almighty, so no press turns from that. So, this happened literally the fight after I hit a save point. This is why you keep Null Nerve on at all times in the Karma Temple. This right here, and you can only get to it through one of the wall pulleys, is, I think, the closest save point to this boss, which is awkward. Okay, so I think, yeah, from here... Yeah, you would get into the Koryu area via this way. Past this red wall, I'm probably going to get at least one more encounter before the door. Unless the game takes mercy on me. Ah, here we go. A Karma Temple guard was brutally murdered. And that's all. Oh yeah, by the way, the Digital Devil, Quantum Devil Saga novel basically directly states that the Karma Temple guards are robots. This is already very heavily implied in the game, though. Okay, I might be swapping out characters a bit during this fight, but I've got Cielo here. He doesn't have any boost or amp skills, but I have Mana Surge, because he's going to be more of my support bot. Unfortunately, I have to cover 3 of his slots with ailment nulls. Because he has Salvation, I want to null as many ailments that prevent, like, action as possible. The only one here that I'm not nulling is Panic. Meanwhile, Gale has Force Boost, Force Amp, Zundine. You basically want every single element in this fight. He also has Debilitate, some more buffs, and I want at least somebody with Close Call. Surf, I'm actually getting rid of Deathflies for this, because this boss actually resists Almighty in all of its phases. Except for one, but in that one phase, it's vulnerable to everything. So, yeah. So for damage, I've got Archedyne and Bufudyne with both the boost and amps for each of them. Mind Charge, I have Null Element over Repel Element, because this guy's gimmick is that he Super Drains a lot of things, and I really don't want to be repelling anything into his Super Drain. Argilla has Terra, Earth Boost, Earth Amp, as well as Mind Charge, Fire of Sinai, Recalmdra for emergencies in Medea Rahan. Meanwhile, Heat just has Ragnarok, Executioner because this guy does resist Almighty in most of his phases, like I said, Power Charge, and a bunch of other things. Heat's not actually going to be the best in this fight. Honestly, I don't think I'll be using Heat very much here. This one's all about magic, since he usually resists physical. An overwhelming presence can be felt from the other side of the door. Open the door. So another full disclosure moment, I had never fought this boss before. I have researched how this boss works. Never fought him, though. So, you've defeated the 4 Guardian Beasts. I see why you're the strongest tribe. Is it the members' strength, or is it the leaders? I will learn as we battle. I shall devour you and savor the climb to Nirvana. Bring it on! Oh, that is a nice close-up. Oh, we get the Hunting Comrades theme for this, huh? And he's going first. Oh, right, I probably need Dekunda and Dekaja, right? Yeah, he does debuff you quite a bit as well. However, he is just debuffing attack here. But yeah, this is Dragon Huang Long, actually its correct name, although I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, but it's also known as Koryu, the Golden Dragon of the Center, in the 4 symbols. So, this guy's gimmick is that he goes through several different modes. Right now, he's in debuff mode, which is what he always starts in. So I'm going to have to bring up a lot of different bios for this. So his debuff mode has Mahama on, Mamuda on, debuffs Dekunda and Dekaja, as well as Power Charge. The main thing to worry about is Celestial Ray. This is his signature move that he has in quite a few phases. Well, actually, just 2 phases specifically. Which deals severe almighty damage and inflicts Sleep, Mute, Panic, Poison, or Charm to all foes. This is why I have Salvation. Some people like Null Ailment for this too, but that one takes a while to acquire. This will also be our prize for defeating him, and it's a pretty good skill. So yeah, in this phase, I'm not really confident in doing that much damage. I mostly just want to go for some debuffs, maybe some buffs. I suppose Sukukaja for evasion. And I'm actually just going to pass Surf's turn here and go for him. I mean, he can Dekaju and Dekunda, but we'll see what he does. Well, yep, there's Dekunda. At least he used up one of his turns. Okay, he only has 2 press turns, so Null Element is fine for killing his whole turn. So, yeah, Repel Element is probably objectively worse here. Because as you'll see, you don't really want to be repelling stuff into this guy later on. This guy might be in this kind of state where it's like, oh yeah, as long as we keep using a buff and a debuff every turn, he'll be stuck using Dekaju and Dekunda. Oh, nope, there's Celestial Ray! Okay, so what ailments are we getting today? Well, thankfully, CLO got hit by nothing. Which means that CLO can go ahead and use Salvation. Oh, his MP's actually looking kind of down already, even though I gave him Mana Surge. I suppose I can... I also actually wanted Sukukaja again, because, yeah, like, the best antidote to Almighty is evasion, like I've said. And I don't really want to go for an attack. I know that it feels weird momentum-wise, not actually attacking him, but trust me, we'll get an opportunity to deal damage later. Okay, here we go. So, when he has a ... after his, roar, it means he's got into he's gone into one of his elemental phases. Here's the problem, though. He didn't use an attack, so I'm not sure exactly what elemental phase he's in right now, and he super drains the element that he's in. He is, however, neutral, and that's the closest thing to a vulnerability he has for a while, to the opposite element of the phase that he's in. So, I can either try and guess what he's in with attacks, or I can wait until he actually attacks me and confirm it for myself. In these phases, though, he doesn't use Dekunda and Dekaju as often, I believe, so let's see if we can reset that, and do I take a gamble here? Let's see what he's in. He does not go through the phases in order, so he might not necessarily be fire. He was fire! And by the way, that's what a super drain looks like. So I guess we showed that at one point, but okay, now I know he's fire at least, which means that ice deals neutral damage to him, and everything else is heavily resisted. So, also in fire mode, because every mode has a slightly different set of skills. In fire mode, he has Makunda, Makakaja, and Mind Charge. He doesn't have Mind Charge in every mode. This does mean, though, that he can't get rid of Debilitates in this phase, so we should feel free to do this to him. Yeah, let's go ahead and Debilitate him twice. Well, whoops, limit reach. Yeah, that always kind of sucks when that happens, but yeah, it's hard for me to keep track sometimes. But yeah, he takes normal damage from ice here. I love the way his regular attack looks, too. But yeah, now I can go for some Makakajas, especially since I am officially in, I know that I'm in fire mode right now, so I know that ice is fine. So I have every element in this party right now except for Earth. And yet there's Miraculous. He's doing some pretty good damage, even with full Debilitates up, which is kind of scary. Actually, I probably should have healed with CLO, but, let's Sukukaja again. And yeah, I gotta use as many Buffonines as possible, even without, like, Mind Charges. Okay, yeah, regular attack. It's actually kind of funny, because if he ruined his press turns, he might not even switch his... Although, maybe he doesn't... Again, like, this is my first time doing this fight. I'm not sure if his roaring phase switch is, like, it costs a turn or not. Or if it's just, like, a thing that he does. I guess I can... Sukukaja again? Okay, I haven't reached my limit on that one. Okay, no, he is switching. Okay, he does have Dekunda in this mode. And Dekaju in this mode, okay. Well, I can use the wiki to kind of process of elimination what mode he's in right now. So he's definitely not in Ice, he's not in Force, he's not in Earth. He's definitely not in attack mode either. That means he must be back to debuff mode, okay. That's actually a little problematic because I think most elements, yeah, he resists almost everything in debuff mode quite heavily, so... Yeah, right now there's not a whole ton that I can really do to him. So I guess now might be a good time to restore my MP. Do want to get my Tsukukajas back up, though, because those are my main antidote to his more dangerous things. I suppose you can Mind Charge in preparation for one of the other phases. But yeah, he always seems to use Dekunda or Dekaja, depending on what you have. Unless he decides to go for, you know, Celestial Ray. So I guess I'll go for some Debilitate. Wow, the Chakra Pot did not actually get my, my MP up as much as I would have hoped. I guess you can go for a Makakaja, because I did lose all of those. Well, we're gonna lose all of them again, pretty much. Oh, there's Celestial Ray. Don't want to speak too soon. Yeah, as long as... Okay, Cielo got panicked. That's actually kind of bad. That is the one immobilizing status that I do not potentially, that I do not have nullified on Cielo. Thankfully, though, I did get the Salvation through, so I'm fine. I do really like the SMT games where Salvation cures ailments. It doesn't do that in every game. I also like how in Persona 5 Strikers, Salvation also revives. It's pretty rare that it does that. Okay, ... So that means he's in the element phase. Mind Charge, okay. Attack. Like, you'd think that his regular attack would be almighty, because it looks all... Oh, it is actually, but it's physical. Yeah, it does look almighty to me. So, okay, he has Mind Charge, which means that he is either in Fire or Earth mode right now. Which means either Force or Ice is going to work. Work the best, at least. But whichever he's in, he can't really do a whole lot about Debilitates right now. I don't want to go for my Mind Charged Ice until I am absolutely sure that he is in, I'm absolutely sure that he's in Fire mode. Oh, he's in Fire mode again, okay. So, yeah, that is totally fine. I, do need to give you some more... I guess I can actually Great Chakra right now. Yeah, him being in Fire mode's great for me. So I can go Bufudine. Yeah, like, reading his resistances on the wiki is kind of, like, tricky to do, but, okay, he's going for a different elemental mode, I guess. And it doesn't cost a press turn, it looks like. Oh, but it didn't attack, though, so I have no idea what mode he's in right now. So yeah, it actually does, like, actually getting rid of his press turns can be a problem sometimes. Makakaja again, I suppose. Oops, okay, limit reached. Yeah, he could be in Ice mode right now. He probably... Yeah, he's not in Fire, because he will not be in the same mode twice. So I really should not use Bufudine, but I mean, I could try... No, I'll Mind Charge, just in case. We'll probably see what mode he's in quite soon. Oh, he's in Ice mode, okay. So, yeah, Fire's great. Fire is absolutely great. I can go for some more Tsukukajas. It's kind of an interesting, like, gimmick to the fight here, in the sense that you can, like, fully buff it. You can go a ham with buffs and debuffs while he's in the elemental phases, but not when he's in the main... I guess you could call that his main phase. And, yeah, so here's the problem. Like, while this does technically work, it does barely anything. That's actually more damage than I thought it would do. Sukunda's bad. But that's fine. That's very much fine. Of course, I can just set up another Tsukukaja. Yeah, at this point, I actually do kind of want to Zero Dime with Cielo. But yeah, let's go for another Tsukukaja, and... The moment that I Mind Charge, he's probably going to switch to a different element. Let's see. No, he's still in Ice mode. That's fine by me. He hasn't got into his, like, let's just call it attack mode yet. We might see attack mode eventually, though. Am I at my limit on Tsukukajas? I am not, evidently, and that's fine. Okay, so yeah, he's in Ice mode. Do not use Bufudine. Sukunda again. Gonna go for Ice again? Nope, just a regular attack. So yeah, like, TV Tropes refers to this kind of fight as a barrier change boss, quote-unquote. It's become a very common thing in RPGs to have a boss that changes its resistances, and elemental affinities a lot. I don't know if Magus and Chrono Trigger was the first example, but he's definitely the one that I think a lot of them take inspiration from. It's where the name Barrier Change Boss on TV Tropes comes from. So I believe he just used Makakaja. which would mean that he's either in Earth mode or in Force mode right now. I guess I can determine if he's in Force mode by how much damage Zerodyne does. Oh, barely anything. He is probably in Earth mode then. Huh, Zero must actually be kind of decent in, Ice mode. Yeah, Zeo isn't fully resistant in Ice mode. Yeah, this means he is almost certainly in Earth mode, which means Force is my main element of choice here. Oh, whoops, no, he is in Force mode. So yeah, that's the problem. You want to confirm what mode he's in before you do anything, or that happens. Yeah, that is going to be a lot of damage to make up. Yikes. Yeah, that sucks. Really sucks. Okay, that was awful. So wait, like, if he super drains Force right now... Oh, he does actually resist Elec in Force mode, so the opposite thing isn't... it's Earth that he's, quote-unquote, weak to in Force mode. Which I suppose follows, like, regular, like, Final Fantasy logic, but not really, this game's logic, where Force and Elec are usually opposites. Oh, I am really kicking myself for doing that, though. Yeah, don't use an element unless you are absolutely sure that you are in that mode. I suppose I need to mark Akaja up. Okay, this is interesting. He's in attack mode now. Okay, so I can make up the damage in this phase now. So, in attack mode, he loves to spam Celestial Ray. It's pretty much the main thing that he does. You can tell he's gone into attack mode by if his roar ends with an exclamation mark. And in this mode, he takes 250% damage from everything. And I do mean everything, including Physical Gun and Almighty. But all he does is attack Megadolon and Celestial Ray. He can't even Mind Charge in this mode. So, this is the mode where you want to go full-on ham with damage. Because, yeah, he gets hit very hard by literally everything. And Mind Charge even more so. But Celestial Ray can inflict some bad ailments on you. And that time it only hits Cielo, okay. So I guess he can Salvation himself. Should I Mind Charge Argilla? I am a little paranoid about him because after attack mode, he always goes into defense mode. And you'll see what defense mode is like. Okay, yeah, good. We're making up to some damage here. But the longer he stays in attack mode, the better. Attack mode is when you get the most damage in on him. Okay, now everyone but Cielo got status, but it works out the same way. So I can just Salvation that away. Pterodyne's... Oh no, should I use Fire of Sinai? If I get 2 hits, that could be good, but also Pterodyne's more... I work for Fire of Sinai, I might as well use it, but it's probably not going to do that well. Nah, I feel like Pterodyne would have done about the same. I'm actually tempted to just straight up attack him rather than charging in case he goes into another mode. Okay, yeah, this I believe would be defense mode. He always goes into defense mode after attack mode, and in defense mode, he nulls everything, including Almighty, being the one thing in the game that nulls Almighty. However, the reason for this mode existing is really just so that you can set up your buffs and debuffs and heal, because he doesn't really do anything in this phase at all. You can also go ahead and charge yourself, I suppose. But yeah, all he does in defense mode is just roar. So again, just go nuts with buffs and debuffs here. Even though they'll probably be gone once he switches to... Because I have a pretty good guess that he's gonna go to buff and debuff mode after this. Oh no, he's gone into attack mode again. Okay, that's great for me. Yeah, I fully admit that I was spoiled in the wikis of the fact that the tell for attack mode is an exclamation mark after his roar, but that does really help. I kind of wish there was a tell for the different elements though, but yeah, the exclamation mark is a very good tell. And there he goes. Yeah, he takes a lot of damage in attack mode. So, making one blunder with his elemental phases aside, that was a pretty fun fight. Surf now has Allure, Medea Rahan, and Rakamdra. Okay, Gale has Medea Rama, Close D, Curse D, and Heat has Mahama On, Makunda, and Expel Repel for some reason. But yeah, Cielo was kind of an MVP in that fight. He did get confused once, but thankfully he didn't do anything weird. And again, I guess agility? It's funny how I only barely managed to max 2 stats by the end of the playthrough, because, yeah, this is in fact the very end. It's pretty much over at this point. That is the last non-New Game Plus boss that I want to do. Oh, and there was one more wall. So fittingly, the last wall we break in the playthrough is going to be a red one. But I think we all know what this is going to give us. Golden Orb. Yeah, that's the last of the orbs. The other orbs didn't really do much aside from proving that we beat all of those bosses, but at this point I really wish there was like an escape dungeon item, like a Goho M, because I really need to just get out of here, especially since Cielo has no... Okay, Cielo does have null nerve, yeah. If I get, like, ganked by Lakshmis on the way back to the save point, that would be the worst thing ever. Also, death flies. Oh, I have 2 magic noises. I'll give them to Argilla and Cielo, even though they are significantly ahead of everyone else. Yeah, take that, everyone who says Cielo is bad. My Cielo ended up my 2nd highest level member, apart from Surf. Having no elemental weaknesses is a really good asset in that fight, too. And his weakness to ailments doesn't matter, because Celestial Ray is almighty, so it's not going to give him extra press turns from getting ailments. Well, how fitting that perhaps the last random encounter that I get is Death Flies. And transmission from the Karma Temple. Huang Long's expansion cell has been detected. Golden Orb has been confiscated, and 5 Gods mantra has been added to the mantra grid. So you don't just get this. If you transfer a file when you've beaten him to the sequel, you get an accessory that reduces almighty damage. But now, teleport. So yeah, we now have the 5 Gods mantra, which costs 2 million marker. But it gives you Fizz Absorb, which is pretty fun, and Celestial Ray. Celestial Ray is more reliable damage-wise than Fire of Sinai. It also costs more. It does have the chance of ailments, but by the time you've beaten Huang Long, really the only thing you have left is the Ultra Super Boss, which is obviously immune to ailments. So really, usually the best almighty damage is actually just Last Word, which is comparatively much easier to get and even comes with Mind Charge. Still, Celestial Ray can be pretty fun, but at the same time, Death Flies is cheaper, and I feel like most encounters that are weak to ailment, like that are vulnerable to ailments, you'd rather just instantly kill with Death Flies. So yeah, like it's a cool skill in theory, but it's not my favorite. Again though, Fizz Absorb is very fun. And that should be all of the secret mantra unlocked except Monotheist. And so I suppose I can show off what my final mantra grids are. This is where Surf ended up going. This is Heat, yep, pretty heavy in the top part of the grid. This is Argilla, basically went full in on Force and Earth, but also healing. This is Gale, went more into the Death and Expel buffs and debuffs lines, but also a bit of physical, and a bit of Force and Elect, so kind of a general all-rounder. Makes sense with the stat build. And Cielo went all in on ailment nullification, buffs and debuffs, Hummer and Mudor down here, and he only got through like 1 elemental line. I had him go into Fire at the end for lols. And I don't like leaving my final levels uneven, but I do think it is pretty cool that Cielo and Surf are my highest levels. And with that, like I said, there's really nothing more for me to do in this file. So, just outside the Karma Temple, I suppose I can talk about exactly what carries over to New Game Plus, because that'll be the subject of the next major thing I do. So, you keep all of your mastered mantra, including their skills. You'll be able to select those skills from the menu. What is very interesting though, even if Argilla has any Devour skills, you can still pick them from the menu, but she will refuse to use them until the end of the first dungeon, which is really nice story integration. All non-mastered but still purchased mantra will be unlocked, you'll just need to re-equip them in a terminal. All characters gain the human form passive skill, which, when equipped, allows them to start a fight in human form. Decent for hunting on Moikanes, I guess, as well as for some kind of silly strats for human form only, and also, the Ultra Super Boss is vulnerable to guns. And this boss also becomes available. Your stats and levels, money, equipment, and items do not carry over. Now here is the interesting thing, because money doesn't carry over, a lot of people encourage you to spend all of your money on mantras before you start a New Game Plus. And while this is true, don't do this if you plan on transferring that file to DDS2. If you transfer a file with over 1 million marker, you start with more money in the second game. But it really should be a New Game Plus file that transfers to the sequel, because that's the only one that has every Super Boss unlocked, and the Ultra Super Mega Super Boss does give you an item in the sequel if beaten. And that is going to be the subject of the next part. Well, maybe. I'm also going to do a video showing every single combo skill. And because some combo skills are useful against the Ultra Mega Super Boss, maybe I'll upload that before that one. But regardless, I'll see you when we fight him. A candidate for hardest super boss in JRPG history. And yes, that includes the 50 million HP one from Final Fantasy XII. Which is more tedious than actually hard, but you get the idea. See you next time for Pain.